Today we are gonna do another question, which is what is the angle between vector A and 3 by 2 vector A. So minus 3 by 2 vector A. And the options that we have is 180 degrees, 270 degrees, um, 60 degrees, and 30 degrees. So I can tell you the answer just by looking at this. And this is a very simple question unless you overthink about it. So if you don't overthink about it, it's not that hard. So what you're gonna do, it's pretty simple. So let me tell you something that you are not supposed to do. You're not supposed to multiply 3 by 2 into 360 degrees. So let's just get that out of your head. So it's not 360 times 3 by 2. That's not the answer, right? So let's talk about what are we doing. So let's take a vector. I'm just going to take a vector that is 1 unit long, right? I'm gonna make it 1 unit long. Why? Because it's my choice. I'm just gonna make it, and I'm gonna see what happens when I do the changes. So this is vector A, right? So let's take vector A, and I will parallelly transform it over here. Okay. And if I use 3 by 2 vector, so I'm gonna do 3 by 2 times vector A. So if I multiply by 3 by 2, 3 by 2 is same as saying 1.5, right? So this is 1.5 times A. So this is 1.5 times vector A, right? 3 by 2 is 1 half, right? Let me use the calculator. Yep. Um, hello. So 3 by 2, yep, it's 1.5. So the length is gonna change by 1.5. And if you look at vector A and 3 by 2A, the angle between them is 0 degrees. So if there is a question that only leads to these two, right, like these two, the angle is gonna be 0 degrees. I'm just gonna write 0 degrees. But this is not the question. The question is different, and the question is minus 1 half. So what does the minus refer to? The minus just flips it around, right? So the minus will flip it around. So we have minus 3 2 vector A. So minus 3 2 will still lead to it having 1 half length, but minus will change its direction. So when going from here to here, the angle between these two vectors will be 180 degrees. So that's the simple reason. So, and that's pretty much it for today's video. Like, there's not much that you must know to do this, but let's talk about a note that I'm gonna tell you. So this is a note, and the note is negative sign, negative sign, or minus sign, or minus sign, minus sign only reverses the vector and the number multiplying the vector only multiplies its length, multiplies its length, multiplies its length. So if you look at this, then which means positive sign will lead to 0 degrees, so the angle will be 0 degrees. If there is a negative sign, then the angle will be 180 degrees. So that's also a note for if we need the question. So if there's a question with positive, that will be 0 degrees. You don't even need to look at what is the multiplier, and if it is minus sign, it's going to be 180 degrees. You don't even need to look at the multiplier. The multiplier, as you can see, only changes the length, whereas the plus and minus sign are responsible for changing the direction. So that's it for today's video. I think this is not that difficult to understand. um, so this is gonna be it for today's video. So on the next video, we're actually gonna not do question. Like, we did a lot of questions. I think your basis is strong if you did all these questions. You attempted it. What? you you attempted it. Wait, what? Like, you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So anyway, in the next video, we are going to talk about subtraction of vector or vector difference. It's basically like addition of vector, but it's almost the same, but it's a little bit different, a very little bit different. So it's basically the same, but it's very little different. In the So that's what I'm gonna teach you. So until then, bye.